Cody, what is your weightlifting regimen like these days?
Uh, Really depends on the day.
Uh-huh.
It's definitely like a morning lift, pre-game lift, and then post-game lift most days. I think the only time that changes on like back-to-backs. So, but yeah, besides that, I'm lifting every day.
So sometimes 3 times a day?
Yeah, but it's not like super,
Right.
like especially in the mornings on a game day, it'll be like just to get you moving, like a feel-good lift kind of maintenance, and then same with like before the game, more like to get your body warm, and then afterwards be a little bit heavier, but just so you don't get out of shape kind of.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like our routine.
Have you gained weight during the season?
During the season, no, I've just been able to maintain it.
Okay.
That's kind of the biggest thing, maintain it, and then going into this off season, put on more weight.
Have you noticed getting stronger though? Like, and if you have you noticed it in game situations?
Yeah, I think it's been ever since I started lifting, especially since the summer, it's kind of been easier on defense, especially like navigating screens.
Right.
I think for me that's been like the area where I see it the most, just being able to get through screens and play more physical defense.
How much Taylor has like kind of transformed his body over the last couple of years.
Mhm.
Have you been able to like look at him as inspiration of like, oh, weightlifting does work?
I think for me it's just kind of a trust the process and know that's going to take time, especially looking at him from last year and look at him now. It's like two totally different people. So for me, like, I understand it's going to take time and something I need to lock into, but, there's no reason that should hinder me from performing right now. So I think for me, obviously, I know I have to put on more weight, but I feel like, I'm still able to compete out there and excel out there the way I am now, but obviously recognizing it's an area of growth.
What are the biggest things you've noticed from that transition of what lifting in college was like versus that new regimen that you're in now?
I think the first thing is lifting every day. Even if it's not like a heavy, super, heavy lift, even if it's just like a maintenance lift, we lift every day, and I think just the attention to detail every lift has. I think college was more like, kind of just pick heavy stuff up, get you as swole as possible, where for here it's kind of like, especially in season, it's, maintenance, working on areas you need to work on. Like for me, since I sprained my ankle, making sure my feet are stronger, my ankles are stronger, stuff like that, incorporating that into our routine. So I feel like, here it's a lot more focused on like your specific needs.
Do you go through something at the beginning of the season where you do evaluate certain things like, I might be a little weaker here towards here, so we're going to work on different things?
Yeah,
What goes on?
for sure, especially like we do the Nordics, do our hamstrings, just our groin. I know my left groin is a little weaker than my right groin just because I had a history of what I pulled my groin in like high school, so this left side's a little bit weaker. They do hips, hammies, ankles, all that stuff, so they kind of see what areas need to improve on, so that way we can kind of minimize risk for injury.
How much do you have to eat in order to maintain during the season?
Too much, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it feels like I'm always eating. It's basically gonna be like that this off season too, but especially with the amount of games we play, and especially our March schedule, how heavy it is, just eating every chance I get, 4 or 5 times a day.
Do you have like a calorie target or something?
Well, I have a personal chef that kind of does all that for me, so I'm really just eating whatever he makes me, and then I just go from there.
What's your relationship been like with Isaiah coming in with him as a rookie, and what are some of the things that you like about playing with him?
Our relationship is great. Obviously, it's really easy when I've played against him since high school, and people the same age in the same locker room is really easy to get along, and I think pairing up with him is really well just because of how good he is at pushing the pace and the tempo and finding open people. And for me, I like to get out and run and play in transition, play fast. I feel like that's where it's one of the biggest strengths of my game is just being able to get up and down the floor. So I think for me to be able to be on the court with him when he pushes the pace and I can get out and run, I feel like that allows both of us to excel because he opens up the floor for him to attack downhill when I'm spreading the floor.
Did it surprise you that he lasted all the way to 29?
Yeah, especially with just how crazy the draft is. Obviously, you're showing it now, and I feel like he comes in with that hunger every single game, where he knows there's not 28 people better than him, that got drafted before him. So I think for him, obviously, we all want to get drafted high, but for him, I feel like he uses that as fuel and hunger out on the court, and I feel like that's why he's been able to compete so well and play at such a high level.
Did you know he had like that vision and passing ability? Like before?
Yeah, yeah.
Is he
Been
gonna-
playing against him for a while, so
Yeah, did he show that off in high school?
yeah, for sure, and scoring too. So yeah, he just has an all-around game. Really, really good guard.
When we were talking to Will about like you gaining strength
Mhm.
for the future, he was talking about how important like obviously it's important to like be strong everywhere and like upper body, but like to be a good defender, it's like core and lower body
Mhm.
strength. Is that attention to the detail for like that specific part of your body surprising to you?
No, just because that's even in college, that was a big focus is like core and lower body. Just because when you have a strong core, strong lower body, also minimizes the risk of injury. So, but I think just being able to strengthen those areas will also allow me to become an even better defender. So I think he's spot on with that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.